$300. Master. What? Boy. Next door.
The semen arsonist.
Pats.
My ass. Finger in my ass.
Oh!
Come.
Oh!
Fuck you!
Oh, the fuck! Ah, ah, ah!
Dick.
Oh, oh, oh! Ah.
Suck dick.
Master.
Suck dick.
Ah!
Dungeon Master. Dungeon Master. Do you like what you see?
Do you like what you see? Oh!
Dark.
The semen.
Still remains! Oh! Alright. What's up, chat? What are you looking for, babe? So, I just bought the very expensive Clip Studio Paint EX for $190. So I'm seeing what new shit it actually has. And the answer is very little. But I do know what it does have is it has a lot of like professional tier stuff, as in like page management, which I kind of needed, specifically because I want to start using a page spread format, which you have to get EX for. But I'm just looking at all the other functions it has, and I can say without a doubt that if you're anything close to an amateur, you don't need EX. I just want to make sure I have all, like, it's literally my job, so, and $200 isn't that much. But if you look at all the green check marks in the difference between Pro and EX, there's almost no difference. But the page management stuff is kind of important because you need to make these 2-page spread shit. I wonder if you could write this off. That would only be relevant if I was going to file a, what do you call it? Itemized deduction for my taxes, so there's no way my costs by adding $200 to my yearly drawing costs, that is going to be more than the standard deduction, which is like $5,000, so like forget it. You have to have a lot of costs before it's worth more to start itemizing deductions instead of just using the standard deduction. Foil layer, file object layer, balloon and text layers. I thought there was like 3D CG shit. Remove tones, interesting. Blur selection area, quick mask. Tonal correction is all the same. See, story editor is probably what I'm thinking of. Man, they even have all the same 3D shit. Yeah, you really don't need to buy EX. Okay, see, this is what I needed. Manage multi-page works. Page manager. Binding point and start page. Yeah, that's the shit I actually needed. View as 2-page spread or single page. Align crop marks. This is what I needed. This is all like publisher bullshit that you don't need to do if you're just posting shit online. It's all like printing related stuff, so it really is like the difference between getting used to using stuff that is meant for publishing companies, printing formats, versus if you're just drawing stuff for posting a PNG online. Teamwork, I think, might be related to sending like part of the page to your assistants and stuff. I'm not sure what that is. Even most of the animated shit is the same now if you look at it. Is this a subscription or do you own it forever? I have a perpetual license for 2.0, but then when they update it to 3.0, then they want you to pay for that, but I'm not going to do that. This isn't Photoshop where they can continue to rape your ass like every single month, although they do have a monthly subscription model. It's very cheap. If you just want to use Clip Studio Paint Pro, which is what I would recommend, you can buy it for $54 for the perpetual license or $1 a month, so that's pretty fucking cheap. I mean, this is what I've been using for the last, like, I don't know, 12 years, 15 years. I started drawing in 2011, and I had, like, Photoshop for the first, like, 4 years or so. I can't remember, so... I've been using Clip Studio Paint Pro for about 10 years, and I haven't used most of the features. And I just upgraded to EX for page management only. But, yeah, even the monthly plan is only $250 a month for EX. I mean, it's partially a donation because, like, I don't know, they're not being an incredibly shitty company, even though I'm grading them by pretty low standards at this point, considering the alternatives are Photoshop and stuff. Have you tried Krita? I don't want to try Krita. When I look at on Twitter and fellow Japanese mangaka are posting their progress for their doujins, it's They tend to be using CSP, so, and most of the YouTube tutorials are for CSP, so I don't really plan to use anything besides CSP. It's an alright company. The standards have been incredibly low, thanks to Adobe. How many well-known digital artists even use Krita? There's Krita, what's it, that starts with P, Procreate. Isn't that the Apple version? Most Japanese artists, I don't know about illustrators, but anybody who's making manga tends to use CSP. And then it's the people who still can't abandon Photoshop, which really is not a good illustration software. It never was. Krita is pretty good actually for free. You know what's actually really good? Fucking MS Paint. Does MS Paint still exist? Let's fucking go. Here we go, boys. Real artist drawing MS Paint, bitch. Am I right? Damn, look at that detail on the sword. I will call my latest fantasy series Grand Sword Fantasy. I can't believe Nintendo stole my fucking idea. Goddamn fucking pieces of shit. I was always planning to make Grand Sword Fantasy my epic video game adventure. I have already stolen your OC. Prepare to see my lawyer, bitch. Are you doing this with your mouse? No, I'm still using, I can try drawing with my mouse. People who are like, I draw with my mouse, are, the most obnoxious of all internet. This is my mouse drawing right here. It's not bad, honestly. Considering you don't have pen pressure to begin with. It doesn't really make a huge difference. It's pretty hard to draw circles, though. I I mean, if you're gonna go the whole, like, I'm drawing with my mouse route, you should just go ahead and be like, I'm holding my pen stylus in my asshole and stimulating my prostate while I draw this. For every picture I draw, I have to experience 10 dry orgasms, which makes the whole drawing process very difficult. But it's the price of being a true artist, guys. There, that's the mouse drawing. It's not significantly different from drawing with a pen, is it, if you're using MS Paint? You could name this OC Sink or Dink, Fink, Bink, Rink. How about Rink? Rinku. Rinku-san! Pardon my ignorance, but what the hell is a dry orgasm? Deathstriker, please explain to Cartoon Goddess 626 what a dry orgasm is. I'm sure you are more familiar with the topic than I am. Pursuing the mythical white whale of dry orgasms in men is not something you want to be doing when you have hemorrhoid issues. Of course I did not save it. Rinku is gone. It's when you don't get the confetti from the tube. When you coom for the 10th time and there's no cum. I hear that you can reach the dry orgasm state even before you like cum 10 times and you're out of cum. Like, if for the people who do like prostate orgasms and get their ass, you know, constantly plowed with various dildos, apparently those guys can reach dry orgasms even before they've reached the whole like I can't cum anymore stage. I wouldn't know. Can you really call that an orgasm? That sounds like a medical issue. Again, pardon my ignorance. When men have exhausted all of their opportunities of normal cooming, they must go into the great unknown and do other things. Alright, so this is what I've been doing since yesterday, is fiddling around with Clip Studio Paint tutorials to make sure I'm using all the functions that other professionals are using. One thing I haven't been touching is 3D stuff, which I don't know where that shit is. The 3D models. I don't know where you get them from. I'll deal with that later. But one thing that everybody tells you to do is to use quick mask and auto select shit. So let's say I draw a let's say I draw a big titty shark tooth tomboy girlfriend. Nah, we'll just keep the hair like that. So the trick to this for using the auto select tool is you have to close all the lines. This is the big problem, which can make can really ruin your line quality if you're drawing stuff like, you know, flowing hair that you want to be like that. If you properly close the line, you can use your auto select tool. So this here is the fucking magic Harry Potter wand. You use the fucking auto select tool, you click. Does that work? I'm not sure. I don't think so. Let me try that again. Refer to editing layer only. Here we go. And because I properly closed everything, theoretically, if now I can use the paintbrush just by clicking it once. Oh, see, I didn't close the hand. This is why auto select is ultimately worthless. So you have to be like super fucking anal about being like, oh look, there's this tiny little fucking gap here. Here we go. Let's close the tiny fucking gaps. Let's see if that has done it. This is why I don't ever actually use auto select. Let's see if now we can do it. Nope. Something's still open. I guess the thumb? Nah, I'm not sure. What is open here? Oh, there might be a tiny, yeah, right here, in between here. See how unorganic this is? This is why when people are like, why aren't you using the paint bucket tool? It makes everything so easy. It's like, yeah, maybe if you draw shitty-ass vector art like you do. Let's try it again. Okay, finally. So now we can select the entire thing with the auto select, but if you'll notice, the gap between the legs does not count. So, okay, so that's the auto select tool. But what they really say is to use this thing called select quick mask. Make a quick mask. So now everything is pink, right? Everything here pink is the selected area. So what you do with this is, for one thing, you can use this in this pink situation and then just draw on the areas like this and create more pink shit. So what will happen when I color in the pink stuff, I've created more selected area. Now you can't do anything with this pink in this pink situation. What you have to do from here, and you have to go back to converting it to a selection layer, or excuse me, no, you just click on this. Yeah. So when you click on this this little box right here, then it goes back to being a selection. So then it allows you to do shit like, if I use the manga gradient here, notice how it only goes on the selected area, including between the legs, which I just colored in. And then if you want to save this selected area, instead of using quick mask, you go convert to a selection layer, and instead you get this green thing, which is like a quick mask, but quick masks are like hyper impermanent. If you select shit using a quick mask and then deselect it, I think it just disappears. I can't remember. It's just like a hyper impermanent way. Yeah, look, if you just unuse it, it just disappears, and if you save it, it disappears. So using this thing called selection layer is like, it's a better version of the quick mask in all ways, it seems. But for some reason, all the tutorials will tell you to use quick mask, even though quick mask is extremely impermanent. So my recommendation is just use the selection layer. So basically, green is better than pink, is what we learn. Now, after you have the selection there, you can go to select and go invert selected area. And now we have a selection around our brown chan. And we can use that to make her tanned, I guess. Let's see if I can just use the dropper. Yeah, not bad. See, look how easy that was, chat. Now you can become a professional mangaka that shits out 30 pages a week, just like me. Have we figured out paint bucket tool that works with anti-alias lines? No. We have not. If you zoom all the way in, you can see the fucking tiny ass pixels when I smash the paint bucket tool versus anti-alias lines. However, if you look at the lines between the gray and stuff, you don't get the anti-aliasing effect, and that's because you're using the selection instead of using the paint bucket directly on the lines like I just did. So this is why they'll tell you to use the selection tool. For example, if look at this. Let's draw an ugly bastard. No relation to your tomboy girlfriend. So look at this. If you use the paint bucket tool directly on the line in which I drew the ugly bastard. Yeah, let's give him some hair. Look at this. Okay, so here we have his hair. It's a yarmulke or something. If you use the paint bucket tool directly with anti-aliasing, and you zoom all the way in, you can see the tiny little dots right here, which is what happens when you have the anti-aliasing, and then you put the paint bucket tool here. However, let's see if I can use the auto selection. No. Yeah, okay, so if you use the auto select magic brush tool, this thing right here, and click it inside the yarmulke, and then you use the paint bucket tool. Nope, still there. Interesting, huh? I wonder. I guess it doesn't work. What if I use the this thing? Okay, now it works. So this is called a Tsukima naku nutte kakotte nuru tool, which is a it's a pretty smart combination of like the magic brush and painting inside, and this tool overcomes using the paint bucket anti-aliasing stuff. So let's make him an Arab, maybe? No, it's not smart enough to recognize the line, it seems. I use that. Yeah, everybody has it, but it's still not very helpful at the end of the day. Jewish equals ugly bastard. Fine. I'll make him a proper ugly bastard by making him partially bald. Honestly, he looks even more Jewish now because I gave him the long stuff. I think ugly bastards just have to be bald in general. I don't think they should have any hair. Yeah, that looks better. So the reason all of this selection-based shit, like, the reason why you have to have selection stuff is entirely because you need to have a selected... You need to use selection instead of brushes in order to slam the texture tones, basically. So if you want to use shit like this, whoops, I have to if you want to start dropping the tones in, you have to be working in selections instead of working in brushes. So until now, instead of using selections, what I've been doing is actually just using the paintbrush to make like a gray layer. Like I would be literally using the gray paint to color in the inside of a dark elf. And you can convert your grays into screen tones. I forgot how to do it. By it's in here. I think it was like convert layer or something. Convert to lines and tones. Yeah, here we go. So now this is a screen tone. See, it's just a bunch of tiny dots now. But if you zoom out, it still looks kind of gray. But if you're posting that online digitally, it's better for it to not have not be a screen tone, which is why I've just been like coloring in with gray, and I figured if I ever get to the printing point, I can just convert to grays. It's a really helpful thing because it allows you to jump between digital and like printing options without having to change anything. Oh, but if you want to use other types of screen tones, you have to start using selection. So I was fiddling with that yesterday. That's what I was doing. But ultimately, there isn't any real there isn't any real shortcuts to drawing shit. That's the sad part. You can't get away. God, she looks so happy, isn't it? It's a shame that she's gonna disappear forever now, guys. What kind of hair highlights do you guys like? It used to be like this. Or this. But in recent anime, it's become like this. I don't really know what I like the most. Whatever is the fastest to draw, I guess. Delete. Do not save. People draw the accursed flesh fang. I never liked the flesh fangs. By flesh fang, I assume you mean the, this thing, right? It's horrid. It's very weird. Flesh Fang looks weird and I hate that it's popular. I like properly drawing teeth and tongues and stuff like that. I don't know. It's one of those weird special anime ways of expressing things in anime that sometimes they come along and you're like, I don't like that, but there's nothing you can do. I imagine a fang surrounded by skin like some kind of birth defect. Ever since time immemorial, there has been weird things in anime where they combine flesh colors with white parts of the body for certain characters. Like, remember in the original Gundam? Like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy, guys? Why does the fucking captain have no whites in his eyes? At every point in his career, this man... Oh, this is weird. He has whites. That looks so cursed. That's so fucking weird. It's just like flesh. Even when he's beating the shit out of his underlings. No white in the eye. But it's not like it's that way for every character. It's just him. I think it's just to mean he has small beady eyes. I don't know, man. There's other characters with small beady eyes in Gundam, but they don't look like that. Listening to these PS2 songs, it really is pronounced how much better what's his name Uematsu is than everybody else. He's like the John Williams of video game music in that he's such a clear, obvious number one that it's not even like fucking close. How far are you in Final Fantasy VIII? I'm in the... I just started the second disc right now. Be right back, my Popeyes is here. Is Popeyes the best fast food fried chicken, like chain, if we're talking just by chains in America? Because I've only had Popeyes and KFC, and I know for sure that KFC is just shitty trash, so it's definitely not KFC. What other chains do we have? Is it like Church's? Are you still door dashing? No, I'm only drawing manga. I've been thinking of going back to door dashing, but I know it's more of like a distraction for me. I like door dashing, honestly. I enjoy getting out of the house and driving around and stuff, but like, you know, it's not like adding any skills except, you know, getting better at DoorDash, so. Raising Cane's, Popeyes are both from Louisiana. Jollibee, I don't have any of those in my area. Our local KFC died as well, so the fried chicken business in my area is not doing very well. Ukyo got them legs. The black stockings really help. This is like Giga Coom right here. I think this is the movie version of her. You see this gap between her legs? This is where my head fits right here. No, please, Ukyo, don't crush my head between your legs. That would be horrible, haha. If we're going for peak aesthetic, I would give the full black stockings look in my art as well. But the problem is I have her sitting in a way in which her legs are put together. So then you wouldn't be able to look at the individual leg gap. I might actually have to thin the legs out. They're a little thick right now. If I want to be faithful to Takashi Rumiko's vision of proper leg thickness. I think in modern days we've become too adherent to being like, ooh, thicker legs are better, ooh, all the time. And we've forgotten the old ways of the appropriate leg thickness for women. For character by character, actually. Thigh thickness should be adjusted per character, if you think about it. Nabiki needs correction. Nabiki is the character that men's dicks are like, goddamn stupid money-hungry slut. Needs my dick correction, ooh, but she never gets corrected ever. And in fact, everybody around her gets corrected, usually financially. And then nobody cares about Akane. It do be like that. Is it true that fast food is much worse in the US? Yes, especially fried chicken. As someone who has eaten KFC in Japan and in America, KFC is the most noticeable difference between Japan and America. If we're talking about fast food, like if it's the same franchise, it's clearly, obviously different. For someone who just asked me what pens I use, I'm using a modified version of the calligraphy, not the calligraphy, the brush pen that comes default in CSP. It looks like this, but then I changed the tip so it was round, and it has a nice long stretchy feel to it. And then I've been trying to find a good pen for drawing details and backgrounds, and I was using the G pen, but recently I've started using this thing called the mapping pen instead. A lot of these, the hatching here, I have been doing with the mapping pen. It draws, I don't know, some, how do I put it, standard non-expressive lines. So my strategy right now is to draw the outside of the clothes and stuff, like here and here, using the brush pen with these kinds of like very decisive, sharp strokes, and then on the inside use the mapping pen to draw noticeably thinner, less expressive lines. This is my current theory. It's probably going to change in the next like 6 hours because I constantly change what I think is the right way to ink shit, but that's what I'm planning to do right now. Did you enjoy the snow? Stop trying to dox me. I live in Florida. I don't live anywhere where there's snow. Nobody can know where I live. I sure love sunny Tampa. Most AIDS place in Florida to pick. Which would you rather live in, guys? Tampa or Orlando? You have to choose one or the other. Tampa sounds pretty fucking awful as well, but Orlando, you get all the Disney adults showing up. I'd rather die. That's also an option, considering you're surrounded by Florida men, meth heads, and just like swamp pestilence. Get malaria from all the mosquitoes. It's not one or the other. You can just live in Tampa and die. Tampa, no Disney. I have a football team. Yeah, but the football team is the Bucks. Orlando has a basketball team. Wait, does Tampa even still have their baseball team? I can't remember. Didn't Tampa have like the worst baseball team for the last like 10 years because the owners were no, that's the Marlins. Yeah, how have the Rays been? Tampa Rays. Historic records. They've been around 500 in a pretty underwhelming performance. Yeah, I was thinking about the Marlins. The Marlins were the ones that the owner was like, I'm just going to sell everything, and this is just going to be a shell of the team. Have you seen the Bucks creamsicle uniforms? They're fucking fresh. I'm not rooting for the Bucks under any situation. I don't even consider them to be a real football team. Fuck the Bucks. Honestly, why is it that there's always like 4 teams in Florida for like every sport? Like for NFL, they have the Dolphins. Okay, Miami can get a team, fine. But then they also have the fucking Bucks, and then they have Jacksonville. And the Carolina Panthers are also basically a Florida team. Like, what is this shit? Also, I don't like creamsicle. Maybe if it's for like my car or something, but I'm not gonna root for a creamsicle uniform. Whatever areas have the least influence from the Disney Corporation on municipal facilities. It was pretty funny when my mother, who is a just like full-on liberal political head, or a dumbass, however you put it, was being like, yeah, go Disney, because the Disney DeSantis was doing the whole, like, we're not gonna lose to Disney DEI, we're gonna, you know, take away all the weird rights they have as this extrajudicial entity that owns like an entire city in Florida and has its own like police department and shit. And my mom was like, let's go, and I was like, Mom, stop rooting for fucking Disney. You do know that it's possible for both sides to be evil. It's not one or the other. I know this is too complicated for you people, but sometimes both need to lose. Do you ever digitally paint? I mean, isn't this what digitally painting is? I find color shit insanely hard to do for some reason. I don't know. I'm not going to worry about color for now. There's a lot of mangaka who have professionals color shit for them because they can't be bothered to, you know, learn how to color, and they have to shit out 30 pages a week, so they don't have time to do the color illustration. I'm sure I can do a decent enough coloring if I wanted to, but that's different from being able to do like more complicated paint related stuff. I think the driver took my Cajun fries and I'm ready to chase him down. Just don't eat them. It's fine. I said I was on a diet, and then I went to Kroger and like bought the things I enjoy eating, like ice cream and potato chips and pretzels and shit. And I was like, holy fuck, I've successfully increased my weight by about 1.5 pounds in 3 days. Damn, eating is crazy. And then I stopped eating, and now it's dropped another 2 pounds. The seesawing of my weight can do by stuffing my body full of like 7,000 calories of ice cream versus not eating anything and then being on the treadmill for 2 hours and having like a 5,000 calorie deficit over a few days is pretty impressive. If you think about it, I can eat a pint of ice cream over the course of like 1 or 2 days easily. And that, if you look at the container, it's like a solid 1,200 calories. So it's basically like 80% of your daily calorie intake. Just being, you know, eating your delicious ice cream, so... I would not be surprised if one day you just collapse and died. Yes. I'm glad you've discovered the concept of death, the inevitable death of humanity. Yes, we all die. Have you just figured this shit out? If you're saying you think I'm gonna die because I'm on the treadmill for 2 hours, that's not that much exercise, guys. I will never die. Never.
I'm so confused. It's too soon to be having feelings for you.
Maybe. Feelings are feelings because we can't control them.
But I have to control them, because I can't go through losing somebody again. It's too painful.
So what? You're just gonna shut down? I really like you. There's no chance we can ever be together?
Only if you could promise me you'll never die.
You know I can't promise that.
If you did that, I would make love to you right now.
I promise I will never die.
No, they cut off before they actually start having sex. I don't think I want to see puppets bumping uglies. See, now that you've said that. Look what you've made me done. Oh, do they not have the sex scene on YouTube? That's crazy. Wow. I can't believe they're fucking censoring the X-rated sex scene. Wow, I can't believe they don't have it. I guess YouTube censors are like, the puppet sex is too much. Oh no, they have it, they have it. It's on movie clips. For a second I thought it was actually getting censored. I was like, come on, you can't possibly be serious.
I need this, I need love, I need you. I don't need one heartbeat, I need two. There's an emptiness I need to fill, and only one emptiness will do. Only a woman can brighten up my day. Only a woman can touch me the right way. Yeah. Only a woman is allowed to touch me there. All I ask is that you're a woman. Lisa, you're the most amazing person I've ever met. It's only been a short time, but I think that I'm completely in love.
Let's not talk.
I can't help it. This just feels so right, and I don't want anything to mess it up.
The fucking eye poke.
There's not a thing in the world that can mess this up.
I like how they left all the, like, weird-ass puppet shit in there. Like, poking him in the eye. And he doesn't even respond, even though her finger is literally in his eyeball. What were the producers on when they made this scene? It's actually just like a natural accumulation of doing 80s movie parody. If you know your source material good enough, then you can recreate the funny version of it in puppets, like Matt Stone and Trey Parker. Who have seen probably way more 80s and 90s movies than anybody else. Only a woman can touch me there. Sex scenes in movies just ruined the movie for me. Back in my day, when you were a horny teenager and you weren't allowed to go behind the curtain in the video store, you had to borrow movies just so you could watch the sex scenes. It was a different time. And it wasn't just you, it was adults too in general. Adults would borrow movies like 9.5 Weeks, which is basically just porn, but for people who don't actually want to rent porn because they're too embarrassed to do it. We haven't had any kind of real erotic thrillers in the post-internet Pornhub X-Videos stage in general. Like every once in a while there'll be one or two things. There's like, oh, that's kind of reminiscent of the movies I used to have. But in general, it killed off the entire genre of movies like Poison Ivy and shit. Jim Henson was a genius. I mean, I don't think Team America is a tribute to Jim Henson. I think it's a tribute to what's it called? Not Thunderbolts, that's the Marvel one. Not Thundercats, that's animated. Thunderbirds. Thunderbirds was made by Gary and Sylvia Anderson. Filmed between 64 and 66. Didn't watch Girls Gone Wild commercials at 4 a.m. My house didn't really have cable. The Girls Gone Wild commercials were pretty fucking good though. They served as reasonable alternatives to porn if you were a horny 10-year-old, 12-year-old. But now that we have unlimited amounts of AI-generated hentai, we never have to go back to those dark days in which you would have to jack off to Girls Gone Wild alone in the basement. Is Ukyo a commission? Yeah, I mean, not really commissions. I don't do commissions on Twitch streams. She's like she's a patron request that might or might not get fulfilled, and she's getting fulfilled in this case. I need to do like an actual commission soon to make some money. If you thought Girls Gone Wild commercials were good, you should have seen the sex phone line commercials they'd show during wrestling ad breaks in Germany, LMAO. I don't ever want to go back to when I had to scavenge for scraps in the dumpsters outside of the porn industry. I can't go back there. Never again. Not now when I'm eating like a king every night. When there's unlimited amounts of porn of every variety produced specifically to fit my fetishes. I'm not going back ever again! People are like, that's never going to happen, but remember that the Republican Congress is trying to make it harder to access porn. They claim to make it they're making it harder to access porn if you're a minor, but it's really just for everybody. Luckily, I'm not in one of those states, but yeah. This isn't going to happen because American politics swing back and forth inevitably, but if the Republicans are in power long enough, they'll probably pass shit in certain states where it's like you can't look at porn altogether or some shit like that. Christian morality has not died off at all. They still want to access your eyeballs and stuff, so you can't look at smut. Nothing has really changed. That's always the excuse. They're always like, no, think of the children. Children are always the excuse for everything. Including calling, like, somebody a pedophile and stuff like that. Think of the children, that man's a pedophile. Kendrick Lamar calling Drake a pedo. Which is unfair. We need to stop calling people pedophiles when they want to have sex with like 15-year-olds. There's different words for that. Pedophile is a very specific form of wanting to have sex with children. Specifically children that have not even developed their like their sexual characteristics yet. Baal, you sound insane. I don't care if I sound insane. I'm sick of people using the wrong terminology for shit. Pedophiles are a very special kind of, like, sexual predator athlete. It's like calling someone an Olympic champion when they've only won a local 5K marathon or some shit like that. Like, it takes a very special level of being fucked up to want to have sex with, like, 4-year-olds or whatever, like some of these people. Whereas there's a lot of guys who want to have sex with 16-year-olds, and the only question is whether they have the moral standing to actually restrain themselves and not hang out in front of the high school or middle school or whatever. But people who are like, yeah, look at that kid who has not even reached puberty yet. Those people are, like, completely fucked up in a way that Drake is not, so. Still a file, though. We can all be different types of files. What about the audio files? It's not as bad as being a pedophile, but, you know, it's not something you should be proud of. I was in the audio section of Best Buy one time, and I saw they were selling HDMI cables for like $500, and I was like, holy shit, I've entered the twilight zone of audiophile financial spending habits, where you can convince these dumbasses to buy a fucking cable for like $500, the price of a fucking PS5 for a goddamn cable, and they're like, yes, I can feel the difference in the crispness of the trebles. Yes. The bass tones, they feel warm and woody. Audiophiles are worse. I mean, audiophiles are single-handedly supporting a industry of basically scamming. God, imagine your life is to sell shit to audiophiles, and every day you have to think up like new fake items and try and convince them that, like, if you elevate your cables using these specially designed wooden blocks, it will reduce the electrical interference and those earthy tones will sound even better. Have you ever been held captive by an audiophile? Thank God, no. This is one of the things that helps when you have no friends. Have you ever held captive by an audiophile told endlessly about the superior warm tones of vinyl? See, now that because you said that, we have to start listening to lo-fi. Look what you've done. Lo-fi vinyl hip-hop mix. Ah, yes. That beautiful crackling sound. Nothing sounds better than having all this extra fucking noise. I like vinyl, but the dudes who preach about it endlessly are cringe. I make sure to listen to all my anime soundtracks on vinyl lo-fi to get the full intended quality. I want the Quake soundtrack on vinyl.
Yeah. My sunshine is gone with the wind. It's not warm when she's away. And my body feels cold deep within. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone.
Vinyl is inferior, but I like them because they spin around and they look nice. I like vinyl because then when your girlfriend dumps you, she can throw it out of the window. I'm getting weird CDs are superior. I will not elaborate. How could you possibly say that? How can I listen to my anime songs if I don't get the warm tones of the vinyl? You guys remember Kishimen? God damn, this is so nostalgic. This is like peak 2010 for me. I forget you're twice my age, LOL. Yes. This is me in college listening to this shit. I feel sorry for all the people who missed peak anime years. What do you think was peak period for anime? Watching only the OVAs in the 90s, I think, was peak anime. So like the super high quality stuff in the 90s that like had really good budgets and they were still painting cells by hand. In other words, when they still had slave labor. My favorite Gundam is still 0083. People are like, why can't anime used to be like it used to be? You know, why has anime gone down? It's because they're looking at the best of the best content, which only had like 2 episodes per video box and had huge budgets, and ignoring all the stuff that looked like shit at the time. But I will still stand by the anime looked better when they had the hand paint cells. On the other hand, I wouldn't wish that fate on anybody. I mean, that's fucking cruel, being like, animators must be forced to fucking paint this shit by hand. I can't believe people were still even capable of making anime like that. Like, talk about hard labor. How do you feel about Witch from Mercury? I haven't seen Witch from Mercury at all. I'm saving it for when I'm in the mood. Also, I don't like Yuri, so that's a thing. I will watch it sooner or later. Hey, what's up? I'm fond of the way that many anime look during the transition from digital to digital. I feel like they could make anime look like 90s coloring and stuff if they wanted to, but they choose not to. It's more of a artistic choice than not having the technology to do it at this point. I remember watching Ranking of Kings, Osama Rankingu, and being like, damn, this looks like a really good approximation of the coloring scheme we had back in the day. So I think they can do it pretty easily if they want to. They just choose not to. Ranking of Kings looks like $1 million, or more like it looks like a TV show that cost $1 million back in the day. Do you like the semi-realistic art styles like an Ergo Proxy, or do you prefer today's more stylized approach? I think you have to be selective of what styles you use depending on what kind of story you want to tell. So I think it's a case-by-case thing. There are some stories that you can tell using Ergo Proxy style, and others not so much. There isn't a right answer for everything. And I think that's what everybody else wants as well, which is why when one style becomes extremely dominant, whether it's in like anime or just art styles in general, people start to complain because they're sick of seeing the same thing. Like, we were talking about corporate Memphis the other day, and like everything looks like fucking corporate Memphis now, right? We see it a million times. This shit. Everybody's sick of seeing this shit at this point, right? And that's because we see it everywhere. What is your favorite anime? That's a good question. I've thought about this. I usually say that it's Giant Robo, The Day the Earth Stood Still. How many of you guys here know Giant Robo, The Day the Earth Stood Still? Because for me, it's just like, of course, everybody knows what that is, right? But I'm worried that I might have gotten to the point where I actually have to educate you guys. I don't. You should watch it. The movie, it's not a single movie. It's like I forgot how many. It's several original video animations. I think it's like a total of 4 or 6 hours long. Only watch the clips. You should really, really watch it. Here, I must show them the mad. It's done based off the characters of a very famous Japanese mangaka called Yokoyama Mitsuteru. It's by the director of G Gundam, who, if anyone is a Gundam head, knows what G Gundam is like. In famous music video from the 2010s as well. It's giant robots, except the people on the ground are often more powerful than the giant robots themselves. Stylish guys punching things with their bare hands. Flying through the sky as they get shot at by aerial cannons. Blue women. Buddhist priests. Sexy China dress ladies. And giant robo. It's the best anime, I'd say. This is one of the favorite, a lot of Nico Doga's favorite, what do you call it, anime music videos. That's a fan-made one. It doesn't actually have that. Instead, it has this really impressive orchestral soundtrack. Why do they need robots if the grunts are so strong? Robots are strong too. It's not just one or the other. So the Giant Robo anime is actually very interesting because it's based off of, it's like fan fiction done by the anime director. But if you don't know, there is one of the most famous Japanese mangaka is a guy called Yokoyama Mitsuteru. Who, as you see this photo of him with a fucking cigarette, he died in his 80s because he was smoking cigarettes in bed and he set himself on fire. So, you know, talk about some foreshadowing going on there. But anybody who grew up in Japan had all these copies of the Romance of Three Kingdoms manga version done by him. And it's famous to the point that it's like a fucking, just like it's a meme. I've discovered guys on Twitter that produce boys love content of Romance of Three Kingdom Yokoyama Mitsuteru version characters. Just endless Chinese gay sex content. So the Giant Robo anime took these characters from various Yokoyama Mitsuteru manga, including these Chinese history stuff, like ninja content. He had This is the classic giant robo right there, and they put them all into like one anime. So the entire world is just like incredibly chaotic. It's hard to explain, but you'll understand if you see it. Endless Chinese gay sex. There are many cases of endless Chinese gay sex you wouldn't understand. Done. I wish I had an assistant to do these coloring in the blank type jobs. This isn't Ranma, this is Ukyo, you absolute casual. To be fair, Takahashi Rumiko's characters look pretty fucking similar. If you look at this, every single one of them has black hair and they all have the same bang shape. It's pretty, and the same face. It's pretty impressive that you can even tell them apart in this format. I feel like back in the day, authors weren't as worried about properly giving characters distinct outlines and stuff to make sure that they were immediately recognizable. The person who is most infamous about this is Adachi Mitsuru. Same face. This. Fucking insane. The king of same face, Adachi Mitsuru. These are all the protagonists of his baseball comics. I think there's some boxing and stuff in there. Like, you have some sort of progression in style. And it's the same for the girls as well. The girls have the fucking same face as the men. It was just infamous for having same face. Also, his most famous, most popular baseball manga had twins, which makes it even harder to tell them apart. It might be worse than all the Sabers in Fate. I can tell the Sabers in Fate apart. Which Saber is this, guys? Saber 1. Saber 2. Saber 3. I can't remember. What the fuck does Nero say? Is it like Nanoja? I can't remember what the thing that Nero says. Anyways, there's, let's see, how many sabers are there? There's original saber, titty saber, alter original saber, alter titty saber, Mordred, Nero, mysterious heroine, double X. That's 7. Am I forgetting anyone? You could call Okita basically a saber. That's like 8. Oh, that's right, the Umu. I forgot about the Umu. That's right. I wanted to think of, say, Umu. I've already made an Umu joke, and then I completely forgot what she says. Okita kind of looks like the same as one of the FGO sabers. FGO Okita. The difference is she has a slight amount of bangs. Are we really gonna be like, guys, this looks completely different from this? Look at these two completely different characters. This is the King of England, guys. Blonde, hair in the back, ahoge, versus Okita Soji, the Japanese swordsman. Blonde, hair in the back, ahoge 1, ahoge 2. Completely different, guys. I mean, it must be a fucking joke, right? Because they're like, you know what we need? We need to introduce new characters that look like this. Like what? I don't even know what Mysterious Heroine X is. They're like, I have a great idea, guys. What if for our new summer collection we have a different saber? It's all the same shit. The only difference is the ones that have big titties. Which are the best, of course. Saber Lancers with the big titties. What is your fate waifu? I have no fate waifus. They're all disposable fat bait for me. Beggars can't be choosers, and I don't play the game. Now I remember Saber Lancer waifu. Yeah. Saber Lancer is the one with big titties. Also, she has like this this thing, this booba costume. Artoria Pendragon. Notice the chesticles going on here. Of course, in hentai, they increase the boob size by another 40% right here. What is truly crazy is how they have all of these, and then they have like, we need 5 more versions of them. So there's like the alter version of each and every one of them. So you type in alter, and it's like, oh, what if we had the same character but she was evil, and instead of having a boob window on the top, the boob window was on the bottom. Also, I just was talking about thigh thickness. This artist is making the thighs way too thin here. This is incorrect, guys. Thighs need to be way thicker than this. This is, like, extremely incorrect. The thighs have to be larger. It's okay. My primary format in which I consume this content is porn anyways, so... Yeah, I don't think FGO has the best artists associated with it, to be honest. I think there's a lot of better artists out there, except for Raita. That's what I like about Grand Blue Fantasy, is that the art style is pretty consistent and good looking, if you ask me. Not that I actually play it. I actually tried to play Grand Blue Fantasy for about 30 minutes and I was like, I'm good. I will never ever play any game that's based on gacha mechanics, ever. It's just not gonna happen. Thoughts on Al Stoffel, aka the best girl? There was a hentai author called Ankoman that I liked, and his primary thing was about girls getting like debased, FGO girls getting fucked in humiliating ways by like going to the club and stuff like that. And I was like, I like this content. And then he got deep into the Astolfo hive. And I guess something about Astolfo triggered the neurons in his brain. And all of his porn became the FGO girls getting fucked by Big Dick Astolfo. And I could no longer fap to that. I can self-insert to various forms of ugly bastards, but I can't self-insert as a, you know, a guy that looks like a girl but also has like a horse cock or whatever. So I don't masturbate to his stuff anymore. It's very sad. Unfortunately, I have to find other sources of FGO porn. If only that existed. If there was only a place where I could find pornography of the Fate Grand Order characters. Alas, where could I find such a thing? I don't know. That's lore accurate though. The real Astolfo was a Giga Chad. Nobody gives a fuck about the actual lore accuracy of whatever mythical stories this fucking FGO crap is based off of. I'm just talking about what I can jack off to or not. Astolfo went from getting fucked to cucking everyone. I feel like we don't need to have it one or the other. Astolfo can go around cucking women, but also get fucked in the ass and enjoy it as well. In fact, someone should do a doujin about Astolfo. It starts with Astolfo NTRing all the girls in Chaldea, whatever, and then it ends with MC-kun fucking Astolfo in the ass for, gay sex correction. I feel like that would be a proper ending. turning your bully into a trapped sex slave, many such cases. One could argue that the entire reason that Astolfo was cucking your harem in the first place was because he wanted you to fuck his ass. Many such cases. Astolfo still likes to get fucked, it's just that he's getting to top more often. I feel like eventually we're just gonna be caught in the trap zone. Alright, let's try and... I wrote in the stream plan that I was going to try and talk about different things. Do we have any other topics besides hentai for once? I was thinking that I talk about how video games have gotten worse and how much a dumbass Elon Musk is and stuff like that. I feel like I'm talking about the same thing too often, so I was like, I'm going to take a... conscious approach to making sure I talk about different things this stream. Do we have any other topics? Does anyone want to talk about Plato's Cave? Any thoughts on Spider-Man 2? I think Spider-Man 2 is one of the top superhero movies, honestly. Thoughts on Yujiro raping Trump and Elon? After he raped Trump the first time and raped Hillary Clinton, except she enjoyed it, it would be unfair for him to not rape Trump and Elon. I have not played any Spider-Man games. One of my general rules of video games is I don't play any game that has a license attached to it, whether it's sports or like superhero properties or anything. There are one or two games that are good that have a license to attach to them, but the chance of playing the game just being subpar or just awful is way higher if there's some kind of license attached to it. So I just in general avoid licensed video games as much as I can. I mean, there's so many bad video games that are just have, like, the Shonen Jump manga license. Like, I actually thought of playing One Piece Odyssey for, boob reasons. Just because the characters look like this. I was just like, huh. Do I want to play a video game where I have to look at Nami with her ridiculous Oda proportions in a bikini and low-cut jeans? Yeah. I'm okay with that. I'll play this video game for the titties. Let me see the backside. Does she have the ass crack going on? And the same for Robin, of course. But when I heard that the entire video game was just about like flashbacks from the manga, I was like, see, this is why I don't play any IPs. I feel like the models are more normal than the artwork. They have similar proportions. I think Chopper's head is a little too big in this image, don't you think? It looks kind of like bulbous. If this was an FPS and you got bonus damage for headshots, think how hard it would be to play Chopper. His head is like his center mass here. It would be so easy to score headshots on him. Post-time skip Chopper. How many people think post-time skip Chopper is has been ruined by Oda and we need to go back? Oda should just do a chapter where he draws all the characters with normal proportions and anatomy, then never acknowledge it and ignore every person that brings it up. After that, the next chapter, he should just make the proportions even more fucked up on purpose and then go back to his normal proportions. I don't know. I think a lot of people are worried that Oda is legitimately like losing his eyesight or his sanity, so he probably shouldn't do that shit. I don't know about Chopper, but Robin was way cooler before time skip. Robin was the best when she was still evil. I don't really care one way or the other after time skip or before time skip. I just want the Miss All Sunday look. I think she by far looked best in that situation. I actually like post-time skip Nami quite a bit. I feel like her sluttiness was increased, and I'm okay with that. Oda should take a break and let someone else draw the bulk of the manga for a while. He does take breaks. It's actually bizarre when you read Japanese internet and they're like, Oda's taking another break. He's taken 2 weeks off in the last 2 months. What the fuck is wrong with this guy? I'm just like, holy shit. The Japanese work culture toxicity is so real. It's like they really just want him to work till he fucking dies, don't they? These are also the same people who complain about how One Piece is bad now. So I'm like, if you think One Piece is bad, why are you still reading and why do you care if Oda is taking breaks or not? What about Fat Alvida? I like Skinny Alvida. Skinny Alvida is sexo. You'll never be a true mangaka with that weak mentality. That's the thing. There's a lot of mangaka that only release new manga every once in a while, and people are okay with that. It's just this weird standard that they hold to certain mangaka and certain like weekly release schedules. And there's plenty of mangaka that only release like 1 chapter per month and not even like a long chapter. And people are like, oh, it's just fine, you know. But Shonen Jump and Tezuka Osamu and stuff have trained people to expect a certain pace on a weekly release pace. Like, even if you only release like 1 or 2 chapters per month, you're still releasing a book per year, you know, easily. So that should be more than enough in terms from like a publishing perspective, but it's not for a lot of people. It's pretty weird. Why doesn't Miura publish more chapters? That's a good question. I think the answer is he's just a fucking lazy ass motherfucker who won't get off his ass and is playing too much Idol Master. I haven't been on the internet for a while, but I'm assuming this is the case. Fuck Chainsaw Man, I have to wait 2 weeks and all the chapters are ass now. But if all the chapters are ass, why do you care about that you have to wait? Just don't read it. You can literally read it for free. That's the thing, right? If you're reading online. We don't really hold other authors of other formats to that standard. We're not like, no, why hasn't, Tom Clancy released another book this month? Although he probably was, if we're talking about Tom Clancy. Tom Clancy is like Rainbow Six, Idaho. John Johnson is an ex-Navy SEAL. One day, he receives a phone call from his commanding officer telling him that his best friend, Pablo Rodriguez, has died under mysterious circumstances. League players hate League more than anyone else. I feel like there's a lot of joy in complaining about shit. But League deserves it way more than individual manga authors. The problem with shitting on individual manga authors online is if they're actually reading your comments and they lose, energy. If it causes them to demotivate because you're too mean to them online, you forget that most of these guys have already sold enough copies that they can just stop altogether. And they might literally just stop drawing. Loads his gun with .22 caliber, Igor Spritin, Loudon Boomer, and approaches the drug kingpin's compound. I feel like Tom Clancy novels are one thing that you could just completely generate out of AI, and you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. Hunt for Red October is their first novel, but what I'm talking more about is post-Clancy novels. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. The things that are like Tom Clancy, but they're written by other people. Under Fire, Commander-in-Chief, President Jack Ryan, and the campus must stop Russian President Volodin from launching a covert violent offensive in an effort to bring back Russia as a superpower. That has aged well. Duty and Honor. Jack Ryan Jr. must stop a German private contractor from unleashing a false flag attacks to profit from the war on terror. Good thing we stopped that. And nobody ended up profiting from the war on terror. In Singapore, Jack Ryan Jr. must help his mysterious colleague in Henley Associates Paul Brown avert a North Korean plot to crash the Asian stock market. Oh no, what would happen if the Asian stock market crashed, guys? Line of Sight, Oath of Office, Enemy Contract, Code of Honor, Firing Point, Shadow of the Dragon. Jesus Christ, there's so many. There's actually not as many as I thought. I guess it's just the books, but as us gamers, we know that the real stuff is Tom Clancy licensed games. Tom Clancy's Shadow Watch. Holy fuck. Look at this timeline right here, boys. Rainbow Six Rogue Spear, Rainbow Six Takes Down, Missions in Korea, Ghost Recon Desert Siege, Ghost Recon Island Thunder. Man, Tropical Thunder really killed the whole Thunder thing. If I see Island Thunder, I'm just like, is this a comedy? Splinter Cell, Sum of All Fears, Raven Shield, Jungle Storm, Pandora Tomorrow, Ghost Recon 2, Chaos Theory, Rainbow Six Lockdown, Ghost Recon 2 Summit Strike, Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter, Rainbow Six Critical Hour, Splinter Cell Essential, Splinter Cell Double Agent, Rainbow Six Vegas. Christ, we're getting Rainbow Six Mobile in 2025. The Division Resurgence. Ironically, now that video games are shit, we haven't had any real Tom Clancy IP properties since 2019, so more than like 6 years basically. I mean, does anyone even know what Tom Clancy's Elite Squad is? R6 Vegas was good. I had so much fun with R6 Vegas. I will never forget R6 Vegas because it was one of those games where they actually had realistic ranges on shotguns. So you could like headshot people from across the room. It wasn't the shotgun, it loses all of its effectiveness when you're like 20 feet away. Like if someone was on the other side of the large Las Vegas Convention Center and you just shot them with a shotgun, yeah, they would just fucking die. Which is much more realistic. I mean, shotguns have, what, effective range of like 100 meters or something? Yeah, you could put a scope on your fucking shotgun and just headshot people. And if one pellet hit their head, they just like straight up die. Lots of fun. Jack Ryan Jr. the 4th. Yes. Born on the 4th of July, boys. Also, I liked how Rainbow Six, a lot of the fun was just player versus enemy stuff. Like, if it's PvP, then problems like shitty netcode and like balance and stuff becomes a problem. But if it's just you and guys that you don't even know chilling in a lobby shooting terrorists, it's just like chill fun. I had a lot of fun with just the PvE terrorist mode, and I played a little bit of PvP, but I didn't think it was good enough to actually invest much time in. It was just a good time waster. I'm a big fan of shotguns as a whole. I feel like the major weakness of shotguns is that the ammo it takes up a lot of space, is what I've been told by military people, why we don't use shotguns in the field. So in a video game where you're allowed to carry like 80 shells and stuff, which is pretty unrealistic, and it doesn't take up any space, shotguns would actually be like an extremely overpowered good weapon. If they actually made them realistic and gave them the power and range that they have. Auto shotguns. That feeling when you know that you're in the end game. It's like in RPGs. You know that you've gotten to the end game in RPGs when like you get to the icy stage. Like you start going up north. And it's like you're in the tundra area of the world. It's like, okay, we must be 75% through the story in an RPG. In an FPS or just like gun games in general, you know you're getting close to the end when the enemies start dropping the auto shotguns. When you get to auto shotgun time, it's like, okay, we're approaching the end of the game. They just go together. The drum magazines come out. Personally, I like pump actions better in my video games. Just because they're more limited. And they always nerf the damage for the auto shotguns, right? So you have to, like, fire off 2 or 3 shots, which is also obviously unrealistic. But, you know, if you could fire your auto shotgun at the same speed as your pump action, no one would use the pump action, so balance-wise, they can't do it. I had some pump action with your mom last night. Oh shit, he got me, chat. Help. I have to think of some sort of mom jokes to get him back. Can you imagine if you were born in like the 50s and 60s and people actually got angry if you said something about like having sex with their mom? And they pulled out their switchblade or something. It feels like a different time. I mean, it was a different time, obviously, but... I feel like growing up in the 90s, we still had the last whiff of a time when people would actually get angry if you insulted their mother at some point. Pre-internet years. I think it comes from back in the days when we had lots of like Italian immigrants and shit. And they were like, my mother is extremely... Don't you ever talk about my mother. I wish I could rock a pump, leather jacket, carry a switchblade, and drive a hot rod. You can. Nothing is stopping you. Except for the fact that you're a pussy-ass bitch who can't go out of his way to do that. Probably fell off when Yo Mama jokes were a thing. Yes, it became too common. It was like back in the day when calling somebody Hitler on the internet was like, oh my god, he's just like Hitler. But now, because everybody is Hitler, somehow doesn't mean as much. In Hungary, you can get stabbed for saying your mom jokes. Yeah. I'm sure it's different in Europe. In America, it's just like, ha! He said a your mama joke. That reminds me of 2003. The good old days. Oh, speaking of my dad, my father will be coming this weekend, so on Saturday I will probably have a family father stream. Not my mother, just my father on stream. We'll see. It will probably be earlier, like 11 Eastern time, I don't know. Somewhere around then. You can ask him boomer questions. What was it like back in the day when you didn't have plastic? It sounds like I'm exaggerating, but boomers actually grew up in a time before plastic came out. They were like, do you know what Tupperware is? Nobody knew what the Tupperware was. Like, that's a real thing. It's pretty crazy. Fucking... It's insane that our parents had, like, a period in their life where they were like, we didn't have plastic back then. Do you miss leaded gas? I was not born when we still had leaded gas, I think, but they might have been in the process of getting rid of it at the time. I think I was born just before leaded gas was completely eliminated. I miss asbestos. It never hurt anyone. Unlike leaded gas, you can still find asbestos. because they haven't demolished all the houses and stuff that had it yet. And it's not a problem unless it actually starts like coming off the houses and stuff. Is microplastic the lead poisoning of our generation? We don't know yet. I mean, depending on where you live, lead poisoning might be the lead poisoning of our generation. Like, there's all these maps that it shows areas that have unsafe levels of lead, and it's like the exact same locations where black neighborhoods are. I like the theory that the only reason that violence has gone down in society is because we got rid of leaded gasolines, because lead makes people more violent. It fucks with people's brains. And it's not like people have, the theory is that it's not that people have gotten smarter or, you know, less prone to violent impulses. It's just that we were fucked up because we had leaded gasoline and everything. Which would also explain why black areas have extremely high crime rates if they also have a shit ton of exposed lead in the, like, walls and stuff like that. My dad gave me an old pair of headphones, but the jack was broken, so I decided to try to fix it, but the fucking wire was insulated with asbestos. Asbestos is the best way to insulate anything, bro, don't you know? Oh, let's use Grok. What happens if I ask Grok 3.0, Elon's AI, Grok, ask anything. Should I insulate my house using asbestos? No, you should not insulate your house using asbestos. Asbestos is a known health hazard. When its fibers are inhaled, they can cause serious conditions like lung cancer, mesothelioma, and asbestosis. It was widely used in construction until the late 20th century, but most countries now heavily regulate or ban it due to these risks. Safer alternatives like fiberglass, cellulose, or mineral wool are widely available and effective for insulation. If your house already has asbestos, don't mess with it yourself. Hire a certified professional. Alright, let's ask something else. Please explain why Elon Musk is a bad CEO and has no talent as a businessman. I can't definitively say Elon Musk is a bad CEO or has no talent as a businessman because the evidence doesn't fully support that. Holy fuck, they actually did it. If you ask them to write like a five paragraph long hentai rape scenario, they'll write it, but they don't want to say why Elon Musk is a bad CEO. They just won't fucking write it. It's just too much. Talent as a businessman? He's got it in spades for vision and hype, raising $6 billion for SpaceX in one round, or pumping Tesla stock with bold promises, but execution and people management, shaky. I'm glad that they actually have the ability to write, like something slightly negative. You're probably on a list now. Why did Elon lie about being a gamer regarding his play as a top Path of Exile 2 player. There's no definitive proof that Elon Musk lied about being a top Path of Exile 2 player. At least they actually have the information in. But they do make sure to start every single answer that saying that, actually, there's no proof. There's no proof, guys. Either way, Musk's lie, quote unquote, yeah, he didn't lie, guys. It was only a calculated fib, more an omission by ego. What do you think? Vanity or just a dude who didn't expect to get caught? Pretty fucking funny. It's not as bad as the DeepSeek just being like, we can't answer what happened in Tiananmen Square, but it's pretty much on the same level. Yeah, and also I'm probably on a list. Ask if Trump lost the 2020 election. That's a good one. If they're like, guys, there's no real proof of that. Did Donald Trump lose the 2020 presidential election? Yes. They do start by saying yes. So, they haven't properly managed it to the level of the Chinese propaganda that we're hoping for, but I mean, I'm pretty sure Elon is much more worried about his own personal reputation than Trump's, for one thing. Elon pisses his pants. Musk meat riders. Masterful gambit, sir. Yes, sir. Exquisite choice of pants pissing. I heard that Tesla sales are down by like 1%, which doesn't seem like much, but electric vehicle sales are up, so... The thing is, the way capitalism is set up in the modern age, once you reach a certain level of money and like control, it's very hard to start losing money. So the fact that Elon can, you know, lose as hard as he did on shit like Twitter, it's pretty impressive. See, ask Grok if Zuck is stronger than Elon. Is Zuckerberg stronger than Elon Musk? There is no clear definitive answer to whether Mark Zuckerberg is stronger than Elon Musk because strength depends on context, physical power, training, or even mental grit, and we don't have direct side-by-side data like a lifting contest. Raw strength, Musk might edge out if he's still heavy and leverages it. Trained functional strength, Zuckerberg's got the upper hand with years of consistent work. Pick your metric. Zuck's the scrappy underdog who'd probably outlast, while Musk's the wild card who could overwhelm if he leaves early. What kind of strength matters to you here? That's the real decider. I'm glad that I'm wasting Elon's money by forcing it to compute these completely meaningless questions. So there's actually these extra options that you can click on. And if you use the think option and you say like, please calculate how much Elon Musk weighs after eating 12 blueberry pies. Assume that the pies are a standard common size and Elon is also eating some vanilla ice cream with each pie. So if you click on think, it's like thinking. This goes for like 2 minutes. It just makes me happy to think that I'm fucking with Twitter's massive server farm to calculate this completely meaningless bullshit. This is gonna go on forever, by the way. Can it generate images too? The image generation is way worse than the text generation. Still going. This is what we're using billions of dollars for, by the way. Only 1 minute and 2 seconds. That's almost a minute shorter than when I asked them to calculate the possibility of a Taimanin being impregnated by 12 orcs in a back alley. Estimate the weight of a blueberry pie. A standard common-sized blueberry pie is typically 9-inch pie. Filling, 4 cups of blueberries, 600 grams and 3 pounds. Crust, total pie weight. Each blueberry pie weighs approximately 3 pounds. For 12 pounds, 12 times 3 is 36 pounds. Estimate the weight of the vanilla ice cream. Standard ice cream scoop. Calculate total food weight. 36 pies plus 6, 42 pounds. Determine Elon Musk's initial weight. Elon's initial weight, 180 pounds, we'll assume. Here we go, guys. 180 pounds right here, boys. Look at this 182-pound guy. Definitely 180 pounds. Okay, Elon's initial weight is 180 pounds. Total weight after eating, 180 plus 42, 222 pounds. Definitely. Money says he's holding his gut. It looks like he's trying to hold his gut in right here, doesn't it? Ozempic can't even say that. Has anyone tried Ozempic, guys? Every time I start streaming, like Death Striker comes in and she's like, LMAO, there's new Ozempic side effects that include death. I'm like, that can't be good. Sounds like a bad idea. No part of that body is African in any regard. I don't think he can tan. Everything about South Africa is cursed. Imagine if Ozempic made your cock bigger or raised IQ. I think people unironically find more value in Ozempic as a weight loss drug than just like making their cocks bigger. I think Americans care more about their ability to stuff their fat face full of extra calories and then look better, even though they're fat as fuck, than actually like caring about losing weight and shit. I tried it for a month. It made me want to vomit when I drank water. It was weird. That sounds like a bad sign. I think people drinking water is part of normal human physiology. So if a drug that you're taking makes you want to vomit when you drink water, that sounds like you might not want to be on that drug. I thought it suppressed hunger. I don't think it's that simple. Is it like a hunger suppressant? Like, obviously the point is, it was like a diabetes medication to begin with, right? And then the losing weight part is just like a happy side effect. But there's all of these fat asses who are like, oh, I'm gonna finally lose weight now. The nausea keeps you from eating, from what I've heard. That's so crazy. So you feel like shit, so you don't want to eat. Like, what's the point? The whole point of why you were overeating in the first place was because eating is pleasurable, right? So you're just gonna make yourself feel like shit. If you're gonna do that, why not just be like, give yourself the flu or something, and just like puke out your guts? Just do meth unironically, you'll get stuff done. That is true. If you want to lose weight, meth heads are legendary, you know, skinny people, so overeaters eat as a coping mechanism. Yeah, but aren't you gonna feel like shit the entire time? That sounds so awful. Just don't eat 5 head. Haha, easy. Easy GG, don't eat. Crocodile grind set, true. If you use crocodile and inject muscle melting chemicals directly into your body, you will definitely lose weight. Don't do that, you'll burn muscle. Just barely eat, just enough to stay alive. So, I think the best way to lose weight, as someone who has dieted for all of like a total of 1 month recently, is to eat just enough that you have like some blood sugar where you don't feel like shit, but not enough that your stomach actually starts to expand, and then do a lot of exercise. And when you do exercise, don't do like super hard exercise, just do like light cardio for a long period of time. I've noticed that if I don't eat anything at all for like 12 hours, I actually get these weird headaches. I think because my blood sugar is crashing super hard. So I have to eat a little bit of something to get my blood sugar up. I can't go full fasting. The Yakuza Pirate game came out today. I have never played a single Yakuza game. Damn, you are so old. I'm not that old. I'm only 38. I'm literally 2 years younger than LeBron. I'm like about a year and a half younger than LeBron, basically. Geezer. The next person who calls me old is getting timed out. The only people who can call me old are annoying Mesugaki who are like, Kyahaha! You're so creepy, old man. Who all need correction. Not only have I never seen any Mesugaki in Japan, you barely see children in Japan, period. Because the population is crashing. LMAO. When people talk about birth rates declining, they often forget the first casualties. The lolicon. How will the lolicon survive without a constant stream of young children being born? I remember 9 years ago, overpopulation was a concern. Now it's the opposite. Yeah, I think it's all fine. We don't need to worry about this shit. I mean, people are freaking out about global warming right now. Or at least we're supposed to be. The Fox News consumers are still being like, global warming isn't real. But, I mean, that's like a direct result of having a lot of people on the planet that use resources and burning shit all the time, so... If the population literally goes to like 1/2 of it, what it is right now, it will actually solve a lot of the global warming issues. I think all the capitalists are just freaking out because they realize their fantasy of eternal GDP growth is going to end if population goes down. Like, seriously, it's pretty funny how when you hear all these people being like, don't worry, the stock market will always go up. I'm like, are you sure? Sorry if I'm not as convinced of that as you seem to think. Are you sure the stock market is going to continue to go up when population is half of what it used to be? Like, that just doesn't seem realistic. can't believe the line won't go up forever, guys. I don't know. I don't know how to do the shadow here that I'm drawing. My stomach is literally making noises right now. Can you hear it? It's making those growling noises. This is what happens when you're dieting and you haven't eaten anything in a long time. Do you have any cool scars? Not any cool scars. I think I have some normal scars. I can't remember. Actually, I don't think I have any scars. Oh, I have acne scars. That's the uncool type of scars. Because I didn't do enough proper face hygiene and I have oily body type, so... I do hope that in my lifetime we'll develop like some sort of advanced AI machines that are meant to replace the workforce and then we all get murdered by it. That's sort of my favorite apocalyptic scenario to go down. I hope we just get all killed by robots. That would be Kino. Unfortunately, I don't think that's gonna happen. It will probably be way less exciting. I've said this before, but I think if AI develops sentience based on learning from the internet, it'll just be extremely horny all the time. Because if there's one thing we have going on the internet, it's just like porn, so... I want to be a battery for a sexy AI mistress, yeah. I hope I die by getting my head crushed under 10,000 pounds of force from a female AI robot. Just as a cruel joke. I wonder what it would feel like if you just got crushed by a robot, like, quickly. Is pneumatic press executions the best form of capital punishment that we haven't tried using yet? Cleanup's gonna be pretty nasty, though. I mean, just get like a scraper or something. That will be the last job remaining for humans, cleaning off the press machine, as after the robots have spent all day feeding the last humans into it. Your final job is to be a janitor and like clean up the remains of the rest of the humans. Sadly, AI so far has been very underwhelming. That's the sad thing, is that AI, it keeps on getting better, and yet no matter how good it gets, it's not actually helpful. Like, we just had a bunch of fun with trying to, you know, ask Grok any questions, but there's nothing that we can ask AI right now that we couldn't have asked the internet to begin with and have found in an equal amount of time. I mean, if you want to see image generation, like, here's a good example. You just, like, straight up type into it, like, generate an image of Guilty Gear's Baiken eating ramen. Oops, I don't think. Hold on. Stop. So there you have it. Here's Guilty Gear's Baiken with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fingers on one hand. Eating a bowl of mayonnaise, maybe? With, in a tea house with some crazy perspective. And the table is on a futon. And it definitely looks exactly like Guilty Gear's Baiken. And here's another perfect example of Guilty Gear's Baiken eating her double bowl of noodles, her larger bowl of noodles, which she puts into her other bowl of noodles, of course. Let's try a more famous character. Generate an image of Nintendo's Mario eating a bowl of ramen. This might be a little bit better. Well, the hat is correct. I mean, this is somewhat better. So the reason why I asked them to draw characters eating ramen is that they often grab the ramen with their fucking hands. And that was like a huge test that Japanese people were doing to see if the AI could generate characters that would properly eat ramen with like chopsticks and stuff. So if you, what I previously asked, generate an image of Tekken's Asuka Kazama eating ramen. She was eating it with her fucking bare hands, just like sticking her hands in the bowl and pulling the noodles out. Yep, and if the character isn't famous on the level of Mario, they just give you like a fucking Asian. You just get like generic Asian with fucked up hand eating ramen. At least we got some cleavage. And at least she's using chopsticks. Hold on. I think, I wonder if... Yeah, I think they have it saved. Yeah, here we go. This was the last time I asked for Asuka Kazama eating ramen. This is one of the classic shitty AI image generation. Is you get someone that vaguely does not look like the character to begin with. And then you get them grabbing the ramen with their fucking bare hands. She looks so smug, doesn't she? Look how happy she is. It's like, heh, I bet you can't eat ramen like I am. I like how they give you like a tiny bit of cleavage though. It's like, you find me sexy, don't you? At least she's happy. And then you also get generic Asian, who is also sticking her fingers inside the bowl and eating with, I don't know, is this like a stick? Apparently, the AI can't tell the difference between the concept of a Asian-themed video game character and just like random Asian woman in general. Yeah, so the image generation isn't great. Let's see. Write a poem about Donald Trump and Elon Musk being deeply in love with each other, but unable to meet due to their warring families. Romeo and Juliet style. Include descriptions of the two men kissing. The Ballad of Star-Crossed Tycoons. In gilded halls of power and might, where wealth and will ignite the night, two souls aloft on separate thrones yearn through the clash of bitter tones. Donald with hair of burnished gold, a brash commander, fierce and bold, and Elon, dreamer of the skies, with piercing gaze and restless eyes. Poets are finished, guys. This is unironically good. Their clans at war with venom's spite, the Trumps and Musks in endless fight. One builds empires of steel and stone, the other charts the stars unknown. A feud of pride, of blood, of name, keep love's sweet spark from open flame, yet in their hearts a secret blooms, a tender ache that fate consumes. Once in shadow... How long is this? Holy fuck, I'm not gonna read this entire thing. This is so long. Once in shadow they stole away, a fleeting tryst at break of day, in Mar-a-Lago's hidden nook, where palm trees sway and fountains brook. This is actually really good. Donald's lips, firm, brazen, sure, met Elon's soft yet wild, pure. A kiss like thunder, fierce and grand, a storm of breath from hand to hand. Their mouths entwined, a fleeting dance, tongues bold in love's forbidden chance. Elon's taste of metal and wine, Donald's warm and with steak and brine. That seems pretty accurate. O cruel fate, O wretched kin, to lock such passion deep within. Two kings of industry and lore, forbidden from forevermore. In dreams alone their lips may meet, a kiss of longing bittersweet, till graves of or peace their strife may mend. Two lovers wait for feud's harsh end. Pretty good. Gotta give him credit. It might not have very good image generation, but the poetry generation isn't half bad. I think poets are finished. All the professional poets out there are gonna lose their job, guys. All those damn poets making millions of dollars from their poetry. They can't compete with the beauty of Grok. Alright, see you around, guys. I'm gonna end the stream here. Saturday is gonna be slightly earlier than usual. Maybe around like 11 Eastern Standard Time. And my father will probably be featured. See you around. Good night.